moving on to things that are more recent. Who does if you're Orlando, who do you pick at number one?
So I'm not too particularly well versed with these picks, but if Orlando has number one and they're projecting Jabari number one, they already have so many bigs. So how would it?
See, but that I think there's a consensus top three,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all big men.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
Like,
I don't want the Magics to pick a guard, and I don't want them to pick Keegan Murray at one either. So I, I think you just bank on Mobamba leaving,
oh
and
yeah,
you put Chet and Wendell Carter. That's the only I like. That's the only thing I think about. Like Wendell Carter and Chet. Maybe is
Wendell
that
Carter and
good?
Chet, or Wendell Carter and Jabari, because you know they got the one pick. You think they're gonna go one with Chet, or you didn't?
I think Chet has the best
And then they have
upside in the draft.
Franz. So you're benching Franz, saying that,
Oh
and
no, put him
he's
at the three.
three. Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't think about that. They don't have a.
That is if they move on from Jonathan Isaac, who has never been healthy ever.
Yeah, after
But
that last ACL injury, he hasn't played since 2020, which was bloody 2 years ago in the bubble. So, damn,
maybe
it's
you move on from John Isaac. I
yeah. Then you do.
Because there's not enough room for them to pick up a guard. I don't.
Yeah, they're already
Them
guard
picking a
heavy and
guard.
big heavy, so you'd have to push Franz to the three. You're right. You do Cole, Suggs, Franz, either
Wendell.
you gonna put Wendell at the full, and then have Chet
You draft
or
Chet. Jabari.
Jabari. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see it working. Hopefully, like you said, bank on Bomb believing and moving on from John Isaac. That'd make sense. But either Chet or Jabari, you're more well versed within their like skill set and what they bring to a team. So who would realistically fit better in that Orlando lineup?
I think they definitely lack shooting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Chet's arguably the better shooter. For his size, he's the better shooter. And he's better creating his own shot. And he's a better defender. So he's all around better than Jabari.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Chet definitely fits better, especially with a team who has they don't know who their number one is yet.
Right. Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes Franz will go off. Suggs, he struggled, but hopefully he'll bounce back. But it
I
does
hope.
bounce around a lot within those guys. But yeah, adding Chet sounds pretty good. It'll help them, like you said, identify their number one and work through offenses and
Yeah, but
stuff.
I don't see Oklahoma drafting Jabari at two though. Yes, they
Yeah.
need a big man, but I don't see them drafting. Maybe they trade down. I don't. I think they either do Chet or bust because I don't like the fit of Jabari on their team.
Right.
Maybe they draft Paolo Bincaro, but I don't know. As a Rockets fan, I wouldn't mind Jabari or Bincaro,
Hmm.
but I don't think Oklahoma would like Jabari, especially since they think that they're about to get Chet, right? Like, because they
Hmm.
think that Jabari's going to go one.
Right.
I don't think they'd like Jabari.
Very
He doesn't
interesting.
he doesn't fit the mold of a guy that's play next to Shea.
Right. You got to think about Giddy. He's gonna have the ball in his hands too. Freaking yeah, something to think about. It'll be interesting to see if we see any shocks because last year when Toronto picked up Scotty instead of
Yeah, but it was the better move.
Suggs, it
But
definitely
it was
was
the
the
better
better
move.
route. It definitely was the better move in the long run for sure. So, um, who knows?
My thing is who do the Kings draft?
The Kings have four, right?
Yeah, they have four. So
Who's outside of the top
left
three?
left on the board right now that would make sense from the draft. Jaden Ivey, Shaden Sharp, Keegan Murray. I think they pick one of those three. If you didn't know, Keegan Murray is a power forward.
Hmm.
Shaden Sharp's a small forward. Ivy is a point guard.
Okay. Okay.
Ivy
Hmm.
is easily the best player out of those three, but I don't think you'd make that mistake again.
Yeah,
Of
another
because
guard.
if you're already gonna build around De'Aaron, I think the best choice from is Shaden Sharp. Shaden Sharp didn't play a single game in college, but his game in high school was so good that he's still gonna get a top five pick.
Oh, that's huge. Wow, I didn't even know that. That's crazy. Hmm.
Yeah, so Shaden Sharp, maybe he's a Sacramento King.
Definitely. He's you said he's a small forward or a power forward?
Uh, Shaden Sharp, he's a shooting guard, small forward. He's
Shooting
like
guard, small
six
forward.
six.
Yeah, that'll definitely help them out because right now they're rocking out with De'Aaron at the one, and then DiVincenzo if he
Davian.
stays. I don't. Do you think they
Oh,
start Davion? He's like 6 foot. Off the bench for him
I
works
don't think
right
they
now.
start him, but I was just thinking like, does
The-
DiVincenzo stay there?
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
know.
His camp and the people around him don't really aren't really rocking with Sacramento. They came out and said he feels like they limited his playing time so he wouldn't have as much trade value in the offseason, which is crazy. The whole Sacramento organization has been described as quote unquote basketball hell, which is crazy to me. They're like, damn, like people really don't fucking enjoy playing here, and y'all suck.
They don't have
Jesus.
too bad of a team though. I maybe they turn it around next season with pick like Shaden Sharp.
I hope so. Picking up a guy like that can really help them.
Or
Some
when does the time come that you move on from De'Aaron?
if you can't make anything happen with De'Aaron within the next 3 years, you have to trade him. You have to let him.
I don't see a world where De'Aaron wills that team to the playoffs. I don't because De'Aaron's very good, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him as a point guard that leads a team.
And just like
I don't
just
I don't think you could win with him as your best player.
it. I don't know. For me, it's a little bit too early. We haven't really seen or been able to
He's
see
like
him.
25.
That is true. He has some age on him, but he still has some years to grow and show us a lot more. It's just all about that organization's will to want to put people around him, and hopefully with this pick and maybe some moves in the future that can happen. But Sabonis is your second best player, so that's that.
Is
Shout
he
out.
the second best?
Who would you would you put Davion over?
No, I'm just thinking like, is Sabonis better than De'Aaron at this point? No, right?
No. Sabonis is definitely like number two to Fox, for sure.
Is that just because he's a big man?
No, it's not even because he's a big man. It's just like in terms of skill set, a guy you can give the ball and he can do something. He's the second best. Like because like no one else on the
I don't really
team.
like that fit. I don't like that fit at
Yeah,
all.
it's a very weird trade. Obviously for the Pacers it's good because you got a starting guard for your organization for the next however many years. But Sabonis next to Fox is kind of a weird pairing. I like Sabonis, but I don't know if he will fit on that team or if he'll stay there. So maybe they'll move on from him. I don't know. It feels like Sacramento just wanted to do something and it just said, "This, we'll just do this."
I think Sacramento is the one that gets Mo Bamba, and I think Mo Bamba would be perfect alongside De'Aaron Fox.
I can see that working. I can see that working.
He's a
Shot
rim
blocking
protector who could
big.
shoot the ball very well.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. I'd love that. Because De'Aaron feels like at this point he's a good shooter at times, but he feels like a player you need to build. You really need to build perfectly for him to succeed.
Right.
And I think Mo Bamba is a step in the right direction.
For sure. Hopefully we can see Bamba move. That'd be big for them. A lot of
No, I think he 100% does move though.
yeah. Especially with the whole big situation in the draft coming up for the Magic. So yeah, that's
Is what about the Lakers? What do the Lakers do?
I don't know. I was watching something on ESPN earlier that said they were talking about Russ and like the trade packages how they don't make sense. So it might look like they might bring him back, and just with a new head coach there'll be a different system in place. There's a lot of guys on the minimum, so it's like after if any of them leave, like what are you gonna do? All I know is that we better bring back Monk, bro. I mean, sure, Carmelo, if he wants to come play another year, he was good for us, on the offensive end at least. I'm pretty sure Reeves is obviously still on his rookie contract, so he'll come back. But players
I
like
think it's painful that you don't have the pick in this draft.
exactly, bro. It's just like just in retrospect, yeah, it's cool. We got the championship after the trade. We won that trade, but it's like every chance the Pelicans get, or just any other team that has our picks gets, they are flexing those picks in our face, and it's just like we literally can't do anything. Like it's crazy. You really just have to just say like go out in the court and figure it out. Between Russ if he's staying, if they just decide to keep him, Braun and AD. In a minute Braun's gonna be gone or on a different team when Bronny gets drafted, and it's gonna be AD's team. So hopefully Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka get to figuring stuff out because it's not looking good. All our picks are gone. We have a retirement home essentially, a bunch of 1-year veteran contracts. So just hold on to your core. If you can't even trade them, just hold on to the core. THT, Nunn, Monk, and Reeves, and then just hopefully with your other big stars, they show up. They show up and they do their job and they do their thing. Specifically Westbrook and Anthony Davis, because we're paying a guy big money to be our second best player supposedly, and he's not on the court for half the season. That's a little alarming. A little alarming indeed.